everybody. Welcome, Roadys, Lorekkaebis, average Xikers enjoyers, random person who just stumbled upon this video and decided to watch it anyways. Today we are going to be talking about Xikers lore. This is going to be the first video of a series that I'm planning to do, explaining the entire lore, just with all the theories and all the type of stuff like that, right? This is going to be the first installment where we're going to do a little recap of the entirety of the Xikers canon lore that we have right now. So, if you are interested and if you're a Rodin who wants to learn about the Xikers lore, if you're a random person who wants to learn about the Xikers lore, if you're a baby Rodi who just stumbled upon this and wants to know a place where to start, this, as of the 26th of August 2024, it's all of the lore that we have canon from the Xikers universe. So if you want to learn a bit more about this 10-member boy group and their story, feel free to stay and let's both dive in together into the tricky house to see and discover its mysteries. That was so corny, sorry. Anyways, let's start. So, okay, let's start with the very basics. Xikers is a 10-member boy group formed by KQ Entertainment. They debuted in March 2023, and as their seniors, ATs from the same company, they also have their own amazing lore and universe that we're just about to start learning about. To start simple, we haven't gotten that much Xikers lore as of literally right now. Today, literally like an hour ago from filming this bit of the video, the first true Xikers lore teaser dropped, and honestly I'm extremely excited, but all of the things that we have known before that specific video are mostly from album descriptions on Genie, a few videos that they have made but not really, and lyrics basically. Most of the world building though comes from Genie album descriptions. So let's start from the very beginning, which is the group description. And it is the following. I'm gonna let Ninja take the lead with that one.
Xikers 의미는 어떤 뜻인가요?
Xikers means X plus hikers. So firstly, you have to know about X. X is the symbol of the infinite possibilities, and hikers means the boys are traveling to find their own corporate. So Xikers means the boys are traveling to find their own corporate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as he said, Xikers are the boys who travel through time and space in search for their coordinates, as they were unassigned ones themselves. And you may be asking, June, what the hell does that mean? What is a coordinate? What are you talking about? Well, I am so glad you asked that in your head. So, let's break this down in two parts. There is two main concepts in that description, and it is the coordinates and X plus hikers, right? So let's start with the coordinates. In the Xikers universe, this world that they're living in, it is divided in borders. Places who are determined by climate and environment, where people in this world are assigned to live by an algorithm in the center of the border. This algorithm in this database, it's controlled by Namu, or it's made by Namu, this corporation, which we don't really know that much about just yet because it literally dropped an hour ago. But yeah, this organization gives people their coordinates and their life roadmaps based on the genes that they have with an AI that it's called Good Brother. This AI basically searches through the people's genes to find the people who are, most suited for a certain life path. For example, if your genes say that you are best suited to be a doctor, then your life path will be revolving around being a doctor. And that's what your entire life is going to be programmed to be. So once you get your coordinates, you then have to just follow them in order to have a perfect life where you don't have a necessity of choosing or wondering about anything. Checking your coordinates through the coordinate pool will just give you a happy and perfect life along with your coordinates. That is how they advertise themselves. Go watch the video. It is way better than me explaining it. Anyways, so basically this database just creates people's lives roadmaps, which is just planning everything in that person's future according to the best scenario. The optimal path not only benefits the individual, but the flow of all beings. Due to that, this world now is an utopia where nations do not exist anymore, hence the world being just divided by borders now. It does also revolve around, the data library in the middle, which is apparently a big tree. Namu means stream in Korean, apparently. The more you know. Those who are not given a set scenario in the border are called Xikers, and the possibilities are marked with an X of failure. They do not belong in the order set by the data, and they are able to wander freely through the borders without being confined to their coordinates specifically. So they can go anywhere and do anything. The thing is, these kids are alienated from society and they are not welcome anywhere. So that causes them pain and distress, and they just feel lonely because nobody likes them and everyone just ignores them, and just no one likes them. This so-called utopian world excludes certain people and despite define themselves failures, and that makes you wonder if the kids are really good for nothing, or if there's like major issues or maybe an error in the data. We don't know, maybe it's genetics, maybe it's a data mistake, who knows. Anyways, society does treat these kids as mutants and they act like they don't exist whatsoever. So anyways, now that we have basically covered the coordinates bit, let's talk about the X plus hiker and what does it mean, what does it entail for the kids, right? It basically means to find their own coordinates traveling through the border, because Valors cannot travel through anywhere outside of the coordinates, but Xikers can move through the border freely everywhere where they want to. They can apparently even cross the border outside of it, whatever that means. While Xikers are growing up in this world, they just really want their own coordinates, because life is miserable without them. But as time goes on, they just eventually get used to life without them. But once they are basically resigned of never getting coordinates and just getting used to it, they start having dreams that repeat the exact same phrase all over and over again. Do you want to know your coordinates? If you want to meet it after waking up, visit Tricky House. After having these dreams, one by one the members decide to go find Tricky, and once they're all together, their eyes are open to these new different possibilities, and they realize that X does no longer mean failure, but changeable potential. And combined with Tricky's Y, it does create its own set of coordinates with infinite possibilities. This essentially covers the basis of their lore. Like, you need this to understand anything of the Xikers lore, but there is also a few other concepts that are like smaller and more like, compartmentalized essentially, that you also need to know in order to understand their world building and all how their lore works, and we're going to cover them right now. Let's go with a bunch of lore concepts that we need to know. Okay, now that we've covered the basics, there's a few other concepts that you need to know. I have separated them into categories. The ones that are basically confirmed, they are things that have been, we know some stuff about it, like, Valors or Tricky, essentially. And then we have things that have been mentioned a few times, but we don't really know, like, anything about them. It's not necessarily established. Like, it is established in the canon, like the Blue Eyes, but we don't really know anything about them. So, that type of stuff. So let's start with the things that we know for sure. First things first, the Valors. We already talked about them before. Those people who live in the borders and have their own coordinates, they are called Valors. They can, as we have mentioned before, they cannot travel through coordinates. They have their assigned roadmaps and they cannot do anything apart from that, blah, blah, all that type of stuff. Those are the people that, appear like the businessman in Tricky House, or the other businessman and the kid in the state in Welcome to Tricky House. So those are basically Valors. Those Valors have courts and they're inside the boundaries. All the things that we have already mentioned before from world building. Now we have these two concepts that appear on the description on the second album. We know basically nothing about them, just they're both related. Okay, future June here. Sorry for this, I literally recorded this like 4 hours before the video dropped. So now we do have a little bit more of information about Good Brother, and that is that it is an AI that is a tool used by Namu to scan basically people's genes and determine those people's best roadmap, basically. So it just essentially, it's not an entity, it's an AI thing that creates people's coordinates essentially, or I guess locates people's coordinates inside of them. I'm still not 100% sure how that works, but I guess we will learn about it soon enough, hopefully. But yeah, that's it. Sorry, this video literally dropped like way too soon after. Honestly, I'm glad that this video dropped as soon as it did, because imagine if I had to like rework the entire video to fit all of this lore in. But whatever. Thank you, Xikers, for making me have to do more work. Love ya. Okay, back to the rest of it. Good Brother is an entity that is blocking the aura, a boundary the Xikers must cross in order to pass Tricky's second game in How to Play. Once we get to How to Play, we will do a little recap of what that essentially means. Next thing that we have are the blue flames, the blue Dokkaebi flames, and they are constantly used in the music videos, from their iconic Tricky House to Red Sun, getting into Homeboy and Rockstar, everywhere. They're everywhere. Right now, in the new teasers that we have, there's been a bunch of blue lights and stuff. So, yeah. Fire, it is constant in the music videos, not only the blue fire, the Dokkaebi fire, but also red fire, usually near or around Yechan. We don't, like, we will probably get in that when we get to like the theory part of it all in future videos, but you know, it is worth mentioning. So these flames portray Xikers as Korean goblins or Dokkaebis. Those Dokkaebis are natural deities or spirits that do possess extraordinary powers, and they have abilities that are used to interact with humans. Sometimes they play tricks with them, sometimes they help them. Dokkaebis are said to be usually more nicer type of spirits. In Korean folklore, they are the ones that enforce the karma, right? So if a person has been good, they will reward that person with their magic, and if has been bad, they will, you know, apply punishment. Legends describe the Dokkaebis in many different forms, and they are beings with like a million faces. They transform in different things depending on what they are, on where they are and what they are doing. So, you know, in order to lure people or scare people or not scare people, they do change their appearance, but their form where they usually are portrayed in drawings and stuff are little demon-like creatures with a bunch of like horns and stuff. They usually form, the Dokkaebis usually form by the spiritual possession of an inanimate object, such as all discarded household items and like brooms, like the ones in the Tricky House video. Yeah, those brooms. Yes, reference. Or, you know, objects stained with human blood. They are usually considered harmless, as we said before, but they are very mischievous. They like playing pranks on people. They do like challenge travelers to a serum match for the right to pass the paths and stuff. Serum, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and I am so sorry, but it's a type of Korean wrestling. They have like the ones they did in that one Chuseok episode on Tricky House. That is serum wrestling. And they seem to be extremely skilled wrestling, to the point that most people cannot beat them, and the only way to beat them is to exploit the right side. Some Dokkaebi stories do say that they don't have a right leg at all, and they have their one-legged spirits, you know. But yeah, they're very, very hard to beat at wrestling. So, Dokkaebis usually appear at night, basically to not scare people and stuff, and they usually like do all their deeds and all that stuff at night. And they also possess magical items that give them abilities, like a hat that gives them invisibility, or a club that lets them grant wishes. So it's mostly safe to assume that Xikers as a group probably have more magical power thingies than just, you know, appearing, disappearing, and possessing objects and people, you know? Maybe they can grant wishes. They do mention wishes a lot in their lyrics. I'm just leaving it there, just saying. But yeah, they are pretty interesting creatures to look around to. I will link some stuff where I found Dokkaebi things in the description if you want to read about them, because, you know, I would recommend it. It's really interesting. I personally really like folklore, so it is really a cool thing to learn about. Let's continue on with the unconfirmed stuff. First and foremost, the blue eyes. We all know them, we all love them. They're all over the place in Rockstar. They're all over the place in Rockstar music video. They are currently, they seem to be appearing, kinda maybe. The eyes might be back for this new era. But yeah, there is blue eyes in the new teaser. They have blue eyes, so that's interesting. They do appear in everywhere, and it seems to be a thing that is watching over them. Might be tricky looking over them before meeting them. Could be the good brother who's, you know, observing them to see if shit's going on and if they're stirring something up. I don't know, we will see. Then we have Alpha. That's, you know, capital A for some reason. There's literally nothing on this except that in the description of Kung and Genie, it's been described that it's handled by Xikers. I do actually have some theories about Alpha, but that's like just ramblings, and we will get to them at some point. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But you know, there's nothing in it. Literally, there's nothing about it. Finally, we have the dreamers, who are first mentioned in the description of Trial and Error as people who Xikers are wishing luck to. And to be honest, this is a very interesting concept to me. So I will be talking about it later, probably, because I do center a lot of my theories around this thing. We will see how it evolves, but yeah. Anyways, you might notice here that I have skipped a very important thing on the list of things that are confirmed. But this thing needs an entire section for itself, because what the fuck? So yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about Tricky. Tricky is a being that appeared alongside mankind. It is a powerful being known to cause mischief, and it's able to travel through borders and transcends time and space. It did contact Xikers and seemingly gave them, you know, powers beyond what they could imagine, and, you know, welcomed them to the Tricky house. But there is a very interesting thing to me about Tricky, because every single thing that we know about it, it's from an unreliable narrator. We have no clue about Tricky in any other way that, like, all of the things that we know about Tricky are from different narrators that are as unreliable one from the other. And, you know, as a storytelling standpoint, I love it. I love an unreliable narrator. It's really fun. It's really cool. As a lore enthusiast person, I hate it. I hate it with burning passion. Like, I need answers. I need concrete answer, not just stuff. Please, god damn it. So, anyways, why do I say this? All of the videos that we have of Tricky are from essentially two different viewpoints. The ones from, you know, Tricky itself and Xikers, and the ones from society. So, for example, in the Tricky's Secret, which is, you know, I personally assume that it's made by, you know, valors and the regular people of this world, because, you know, we call it Tricky. It's a woman's voice, which hasn't appeared at any given moment. Other than that, you know, I feel that's like from society, and in that specific video, it kind of reminds me of, you know, the stories that you tell kids about, you know, magical beings. Like, I don't know, you just tell them a story about a witch. I don't know how to say that one. About a witch or something, right? And it's like, again, folklore on the world, right? And it just sounds like a cautionary child's tale, that parents tell their kids, and in that specific tale, it just you get Tricky depicted as this ominous being that you don't know if it's good and evil or evil. It's just an agent of chaos that just wants to do what it wants. It doesn't want, like, it is being painted as just like a chaotic force that low-key almost wants the downfall of mankind, and just like causing havoc and, you know, messing with humans in any way. And it's very interesting because that just has made us think that Tricky is inherently evil and doesn't want anything to do with like good stuff. Thing is, in this society where every single thing is planned and everything is counted for, and you cannot like deviate from the path in any single way, a being that likes chaos and likes you know, choice. Because in the Tricky secret in the video, you see Tricky playing chess. That's just choices and choices and choices. This is constant choices, the same as the maze of choice. You get to choose your own destiny. In this world, you don't at all. So it would make sense for the Valors and for the people of this world to demonize Tricky and to make it look like a horrible, horrible being that just wants, you know, destruction. When in reality, it can be just a little thingy that wants to, you know, cause a little chaos, do some stuff, and just, you know, chill and make people, you know, have free will and choice. Because, for example, you know, in the rest of the videos with like Welcome to the Tricky House and Run and all of the This is what Meet Tricky, right? Those are made by Xikers and by Tricky, and Tricky literally looks like a solo guy. He's just vibing. He's just trying to help people and do stuff. It basically looks like a teenager just running around, right? And you know, it's interesting because in Welcome to the Tricky House, both the Valors, which Tricky interacts with, completely ignore it and just go on their days, aka just keep following their life path. And you know, Tricky just looks like it wants to like play and have fun and let people go on vacations, I guess. You know, it's just Tricky's unpredictable. It's a thing that we don't know about, and we just have two different, very different interpretations of that. We don't really know which one's true. Could both be true, because we do see Tricky as a two-faced being, both black and white. Two sides of the same coin. Chaos can be good, but can also be very bad. I do interpret Tricky as a, you know, a kind of like, you know, like Greek gods. They are not human. They don't abide by human laws. They are just forces of nature that do whatever they want, and they have, you know, their whims and stuff. They don't really necessarily understand why humans do what they do. They just do what they want, and if you are in their way, sometimes you might be rewarded and sometimes you might get fucked, basically. And I think Tricky just kind of works like that a little bit. It kind of looks like it does. We don't know for sure. We have literally no, I personally have no clue what to think about Tricky, because, you know, the two different informations we have is very different. So we, I guess, will have to wait and see if Tricky is literally this black or white. It is more of a complex being. We will see, but yeah, I personally don't trust that thing. I don't like that thing. I think that thing is a bitch, and I don't like it at all. Fuck us, Tricky does not come into my house. Thing is, do I think Tricky is just straight up bad and horrible? No, not at all. Again, I don't think we can talk about Tricky in like human terms per se, right? In like good or bad, right or wrong. What is this thing, right? I think it's because it is a thing. Tricky isn't it. They make it very clear that Tricky is not a he or a her or whatever. He's like an it. It's a thing. It's a being. It's a concept. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's really hard to judge for now. I do like the having multiple possibilities about where Tricky can or can't go in these scenarios. And I think we might get some answers from this new comeback. I will be making a video about the comeback specifically. Probably I will make a trial and error and watch out analysis video altogether, because I think both of them, lyrics and the music and their lore, I guess, I think they're gonna tie together pretty well. So I will probably do the rubber bringing and how to play analysis video, and then a trial and error and watch out analysis video once the watch out era officially ends. So yeah, that's basically it. I just have questions, not answers, but you know, we do see Xikers in their lyrics say constantly that how scary and weird and fucked up basically the tricky house is. It's a place with no escape, a maze, if you will, tying it all up. And you know, and they don't care, but they don't care to just keep going recklessly, and they genuinely can't stop, or they might die. I have thoughts about that too, but whatever. I just can't help but think that's silly, that Tricky is not just a little fella that's just doing things, you know? Because if the Tricky house is this weird, then Xikers are trying to escape it, allegedly. Maybe Tricky is not what it seems, but you know, we'll see. The horror concept might actually help us in this moment. Finally, before I end this video, I do want to talk about a thing that's also not confirmed per se. They have not mentioned anywhere that much, but you know, it has been, like, it has appeared into comics already. It is, you know, a thing. You know, it is driving me crazy. I am going insane with this. I've been going insane with this for months. Literally since I started listening to Xikers and I saw the Rockstar video and I saw that, I was like, the fuck is this? I need to know, you know? And yes, I am obviously talking about their tattoos. the Rockstar code tattoos. And it literally, I just need to cover this, okay? It doesn't fit anywhere else in the videos, in the thing that I have, you know, structure thingy, right? So I'm just putting it here. This is all speculations. This is not canon in any way. I'm just talking about this because I need to talk about this, because if not, I'm going insane, okay? All the canon bits and all the things that are, you know, confirmed to the lore are above this. All of this already theories and speculations. Who the fuck is this? No one's there. Here are the codes in order from Ninja to Yechan. They are all taken from the Rockstar music video and all the photo shoots and stuff. So there you have them. On a quick glance, they basically look like gibberish. They look like nothing. There's just a bunch of digits with letters. They have patterns and they have important things, okay? They do have, you know, correlation to each other. For example, let's start with the old phrase, Jungmin and Minje. They do match with each other. They start with one digit, then a letter, which is, it does coincide with the first letter of their surname, Park and Kim, right? And then they have, you know, the other three digits. And in the Rockstar music video, they both have it located in their hand, where the rest of them are located in the neck. I don't know how important is this positioning, because you know, one specifically too has appeared in Trial and Error, and it was in a different location in the body. So I don't know how important this is, but I'm just gonna mention it because no, it's worth mentioning. Then the O5s, they are also kind of similar. They do start, instead of one digit, they start in 3 digits. Then they have their letter that is the first letter in their second syllable, and then they have just one another digit. Now these ones are kind of interesting because Yechan and Seoul match 777E7888C8. Why are they 7 and 8? I don't know, but why do they repeat all of the numbers? I also don't know, but they do much basically. Because it makes sense. 7, for example, it is the 7th member, but Yechan, it's the 10th one. So I don't know why do they repeat those numbers specifically. The O4s do also have 4 digits, but they are distributed 2 digits, letter 2 digits. In this case, the letters for all of 3 of them, it is their initial, right? And in both Xikers and Janos, they end with 04, which is their birth year. But it does get very interesting when we look at Sumin's one. He's the only one who doesn't match with absolutely anyone. He only has 3 digits, 44S7. He did say in one video that it was his birthday, 7th of April 2004, 447, instead of 774, instead of 744. It also is very, very interesting because not only has only 3 digits, it also is the only one that has appeared twice. Because he also had this for trial and error. He has this in his chest, it's the exact same, it hasn't changed. Why is he the only one that has appeared with his, I guess, serial number twice? He's the odd one out. He's the only one in the offers that doesn't match. He's the one that in the entirety of Xikers that also doesn't match. Why is he the one who's repeating? Why doesn't he match with the rest of them? What are the codes in general, you know, because they are important. And we know they're important. But what the fuck are they? I don't know. And I'm going insane. I need answers. I need answers, please. For now, the only thing we can do is wonder. But I want to know. Please, KQ, let me know. I am begging you. Please. Please don't do this to me. Why are you doing this to me? Anyways, now up to this point, this has been mostly canon things that we have been given by the company and by, you know, all the descriptions and all that type of stuff. I have not like invented anything or doing anything like that. I don't really, there's no theory to most of this, right? It's just what they gave us, what they told you. Now, for the next few videos, I am going to start getting into more of wondering and theory thing, right? I'm gonna start with analyzing music videos, analyzing lyrics, you know, the overall thoughts about, you know, the comebacks and all the media that we have about from them. And this is gonna be starting to try and decipher what the Xikers lore is and what their whole thing is about. For the next few videos, again, this is what we're gonna be doing. But you know, I think this is important to know for new Lorekkaebis that can come from, you know, trial and error and want to know in a easier way than just reading the lore doc about, you know, the canon and the basis of Xikers lore, so you can go all and make theories with, you know, the basis covered. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe so you don't miss any other video of this series. Again, it's gonna be a multiple video series. I already have 1.5 video written down basically. But bear with me because this might be a little bit slow because, you know, I want to see all of the things that will be appearing in this era because I think this one's gonna be very lore heavy. And I can wait to see all the, you know, new things that we get from this. But yeah, anyways, I do hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like if you did. Comment stuff, I guess. Comment your now theories. What do you think about this world building that we're getting? But yeah, I genuinely hope this was helpful. That's it. That's it from me for now. I'll see you next time. Stream Xikers. And yeah. Adiós. Hasta luego.